Chelsea Football Club, it looks like Xavi Simons might get delayed because Christopher Nkunku in Bayern Munich has collapsed. Yes, reports are coming out that the move has collapsed because Bayern Munich want one thing and Chelsea want another. I'm going to explain what that is. Nicholas Jackson, on the other hand, all of a sudden now Napoli and Aston Villa are coming in for two separate reasons, but this is good. We want the competition, we want them to want the player, and we need to offload the player if we want to get in Simons and Garnacho. Some people might want Garnacho not to come, I get it. And finally, Joshua Chempong played at centre-back, and a lot of people had mixed reviews. And now what we see is a briefing war. We see Enzo Maresca coming out with his 2 cents into the situation, and the club coming out through Liam Toomey saying 3 things that they believe in that tells them they don't need a new centre-half. No thank you, we aren't buying no one. I'm going to explain it. It is getting political, it is getting very controversial and very public, which I do not like. However, I'm here to cover it. Before we get started, number 1, hit that like button. It's the best way you can support the channel. You watch every day, you should be paying your rent. Simple as that. Number 2, if you're new to the channel, you like the way I present stuff, you like the very basic background, subscribe, alright? Good content, reliable content on a regular basis. And finally, if you haven't watched the match reaction, at the end of the video, I'll pin it, and you can go and review our first Premier League game. I'll go into good details, I'll break down the performances, and you can do that. But let's get started with it. So it looks like Christo's move to Bayern Munich is looking off. Initially, what we saw was Christopher Nkunku was getting shopped around. His agent was showing him to anyone that's willing to listen. Everybody that was willing to sit down and listen to Christo and listen to the agent was getting time. Now, it looks like Bayern Munich is the only club that is actively trying to pursue him that he is interested in. You need to remember, right, for a transfer to happen, the club is selling needs to agree, the club that's buying needs to agree, and most importantly, people always forget, the player needs to want to go there. And in this case, we know Newcastle want Nkunku, and we know Bayern Munich want Nkunku, but everything we're hearing is Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich. There's one issue here, and people don't want to admit it. Fabrizio Romano and Christian Falk are both saying the same thing. Chelsea Football Club are interested in a permanent. Bayern Munich are interested in a loan with an option. The Joao Felix route, as I like to call it. The Joao Felix special. You go on loan, we'll have an option. We're not going to activate it though. Chelsea don't want that to happen. And one of the reasons why Chelsea doesn't want that to happen is actually very simple. You don't want Christopher Nkunku to go there, not do well, and then the whole world knows he's finished. What you want to happen is get him off your books. He's not my problem anymore. We take a cut. We don't take any risks. The alternative way to look at it is you get a loan fee now, you run down his contract by another year, and then next year, hopefully there's a bigger market because Christopher Nkunku smashes it. You know that's not going to happen. We've seen loans long enough. What is going to happen is he's going to come in, he's going to play a few games. Come February time, when Jamal Musiala's back, he's going to end up on the bench. And then they're going to say, why are we playing him? We're not going to sign him. So this is where the predicament deepens, and we need to understand what we need to do. For me, I think this is politics from both sides. I think this is Bayern briefing the media saying we're going to get our loan. I think Chelsea are briefing their media saying we only want a permanent, and eventually there will be a compromise. What we know is the compromise basically dictates Xavi Simons' future. Reports have come out that Xavi Simons has already stipulated to Bayern Munich, Manchester City, he has no desire to join them. He only wants Chelsea. I personally find that very hard to believe. I think if Manchester City or Bayern Munich came in for the player, he would at least listen. I'm not saying he would definitely pick them above Chelsea. I think he would listen. That's just the bare minimum you do. These clubs are massive. Same way as Chelsea. If Chelsea knocks on the door, you say, you know what? I'm going to give you the respect and the time of day. You don't ruin relationships. So for me, this stinks. This stinks of a lot of reports coming out that aren't exactly true or partially true. What I think is true is the minute Christopher Nkunku goes, we're going to get Xavi Simons within a few days. That is what I can tell. This is the information I'm gathering, and this is the instinct that I'm getting. So, the next story. Another player who's on his way out, and a lot of people mentioned his name yesterday. A lot of people were talking about how if we had Nicholas Jackson yesterday, we would have won the game, and how Nicholas Jackson brings a lot of people into the game, and he improves everyone in and around him. He presses better. Overall, he's a better player than Delap. I get it. I really do. I understand where people are coming from. Don't totally agree, but I can understand your point that you're trying to make. But we don't need to rewrite history on Nicholas Jackson's finishing. There's a reason Nicholas Jackson is third choice now, after he's had 2 years of no competition, literally the shirt put on him and said, you're our main guy, take it and run. He didn't take it and run. And that's why he's in a predicament now where Liam Delap is back up and Joao Pedro is first choice. However, what has come out is Plettenberg has spoken about Nicholas Jackson and he's given us some information. Bayern Munich is not a real option. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about Bayern Munich inquiring and Bayern Munich inquired and it didn't really work out because Bayern are not really interested. It was just a small inquiry and then they said, no thank you, baby dog, I'm out of here. Next thing you know, it got to the point where Newcastle have him on the shortlist, AC Milan have him on the shortlist, and Fabrizio saying Italian clubs are inquiring. What's the rule on this channel, guys? If an Italian club calls, a 2 years worth of loan with an option, that's the only thing they're paying. They are not paying over the odds. They are going to absolutely try take your shoes while they take the player as well. They're going to be the Schulafala. Genuinely, they're going to be absolutely taking the mick out of you. They will also ask you to pay for their expenses to fly over or fly the player over there. Genuinely. The Italian clubs mock it when it comes to Bayern from the Prem. The key here is, though, Matt Lawnowers came out and said, Napoli want Nicholas Jackson. They're going to inquire. Why? Romelu Lukaku has got a serious injury. Napoli need a striker. And our good friend Antonio Conte really likes Nicholas Jackson. Once again, it's an Italian club. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't believe it. The price for the player is £65 million. If Benjamin Sesko goes for £65 million, Hugo Ekitike goes for £80 million, Nicholas Jackson should be going for at least £65 million. At least. The very, very least. So, we need to be open and we need to be honest about what's going to happen. If he doesn't leave, he gets reintegrated into the team. My ideal scenario, the most ideal scenario, Nico stays, Nkunku goes, we get Xavi Simons. That would be my ideal. No Garnacho, alright? But what I think is going to happen is we get Garnacho, we get Xavi Simons, the other two leave. I don't know on what kind of deals, but the fact that Nico's not even in the squad, I think that's nasty. I think he should be in the squad. We could use him, but it is what it is. Like, sometimes these are the cards that we're dealt. What we don't need at Chelsea Football Club right now is a culture war. What we don't need is Enzo Maresca having a good season, and now he thinks he can start flexing his muscles. You know, the bench press has gone up a little bit. All of a sudden, he's hit the 2 plates on each side. You know, the 2 20s on each side. It's 100 kilo bench press. He does not want to be flexing his muscles, you know, and telling everyone, hey, look, I'm repping it, 12 reps. But the man came out and basically spoke his shit, for lack of a better word. Came out and spoke his nonsense. Came out and spoke his governor. Came out and spoke his pucaria. Problem is here, I don't think this should be ironed out in public. And now Chelsea have come out through Liam Toomey with 3 reasons. 3 reasons why they don't believe that they need a centre-half. This is funny, by the way, yeah? Reason number 1, they do not believe that at this current moment, there is value in the market. They believe if they go and buy someone, they're panic buying. There is no value in the market. I love that excuse, right? No value in the market. There are no good players on the left-hand side, guys. We can't do no scouting jobs. We don't have a database full of players that we might be exploring. No value in the market. The second, they have confidence in their current squad. Meaning, they have confidence in Joshua Chempong, Tosin, Badiashile, Fofana, and Trevor Chalobah. Personally, I agree with this one. I think if you bought these players, you have these players, you should give them an opportunity to prove themselves. With Fofana, prove to us you can stay fit. Your 5th choice anyway. Badiashile, broski, you've been begging to play. This is it. Tosin and Trev don't let us down. Genuinely, they don't let us down. We know what they are. We know their level. They step in and play. I thought Josh had a good game, so I can't be annoyed. The final reason, and this is the big one, they believe they've got the coaching staff inbuilt in Enzo Maresca and his team to develop players. And for me, this one is the best one yet. I believe Enzo Maresca is a bloody good coach. I think he's a phenomenal coach. I think he improves players. I think his system gets the best out of players, right? Especially defensive players. I think it is criminal. We had the third best defensive record with a goalkeeper like Robert Sanchez and centre-halves that basically the rest of the league calls rubbish. That is the truth. The rest of the league, every time I talk to rivals, Tosin, he ain't good. Chalobah, he ain't good. Fofana, can't stay fit. Badiashile, Bootiashile. Literally, every time we hear people talk about our defenders, they criticize them. Levi Colwell, lightweight. Like, we never get the praise, but yet somehow we ended up finishing with the 3rd best record. So, clearly, Enzo's doing something right. The key here is, You need to decide what you want. Don CFC, great account, go follow him. Really good guy. Me and him argue a lot about football. However, we get along and we know a lot of things that we think entwine. You know, like there's a lot of like parallels in our thought process. He's very big on Anselmino. I don't know enough about Argentine Aaron, so I'm not going to be here talking, but what Don is telling me, the passing angles, very good. Passing range, phenomenal. Ability on the ball, brilliant. Physicality, we don't know yet. Only one way to find out, try him in a cup game or loan him out. The other aspect is Joshua Chempong. Yesterday, he passed the Mateta test. I go into detail in my review. You can go check that out. I absolutely break it down. Why I think he done well, why I think people are being out of order, and why I think people are panicking. What I think is going on now though, fans had in their head, they won't admit it, but it's the truth. There was a glimpse of a fan base believing we could win the league. We won the Conference League, we won the Club World Cup. I don't blame you. It is exciting to think about that. We're getting our Chelsea back. The problem is, once you start thinking like that, you don't want to trust what got you here. And what got us here is trusting in younger players. For me, Levi will be back in March, April. This season for him is written off. This season for me is about seeing what Josh has. You put Josh in a team, when Tosin comes back, Tosin starts. Josh gets drafted in and drafted out. And you see how Josh develops. Josh is going to be a bad boy right centre back. Do you understand that? He's going to be absolutely brilliant. We're going to love him for years to come. But he needs to be nurtured and he needs to be disciplined in the sense that you play one game, you don't play the next game. You play 2 games, you don't play 2 games. And all of a sudden, he'll accumulate 25 games. People are going to look at it and say, you know what? We've got a great centre-half here. This is a very good prospect. And this is what will happen. But like I said, if you don't believe me, I'll break down this game. Over here, we've got Chelsea versus at Crystal Palace, 0-0. The good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Go check it out. Let me know your thoughts. I know you lot will enjoy it. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day. Up the Chelsea.